Hello friends, welcome to Help Me Coder. And in this part 8 of our video series on Power Automate, we will be looking into conditions and branching. So this is a topic which I guess most of the people who will be creating the flow in Power Automate will definitely encounter that they will have to work with conditions and branching. So do watch this video if you are new in Power Automate or even if you are a seasoned user. Not only this, in this video, we will also learn how do you connect your Power Automate to different applications. So imagine in this case, we will be using SharePoint site. We will let you know how do you create a SharePoint site, how do you create a list inside SharePoint site, and then how do you connect your SharePoint list to this Power Automate flow. So whenever a new item is created in this particular SharePoint list, which is kind of like an Excel file, that whenever an item is created, it triggers the flow, and then you can take certain decisions based on the conditions that we have placed and the branchings that we have applied. So we will look into all of this in this particular video. But please, as usual, I will request your help to do like our YouTube channel, Help Me Coder, so that it keeps us motivated and we keep creating awesome content in future. So without wasting much time, let's quickly dive in. So what are conditions? Conditions are checks that help you evaluate a particular logic and then takes different routes based on the condition outcome. So condition outcome can be either true or false, and based on that outcome, then you decide two different paths. Example being, so imagine we are doing an expense application, and in this expense application, if someone creates or submits an expense which is greater than 500, then I want that flow to send it for an approval to his manager. If it is less than 500, then I want to approve it there and then and notify the employee. So there are two different paths, but our condition is what? Condition is amount greater than 500. So we will see how we do these conditions later in the demo. There can be different types of conditions and branching. There can be simple conditions that we just discussed. There can be multiple conditions, which is that you want to combine two different conditions together. Here we had only one condition which says expense greater than 500. What if I want to say expense greater than 500 and the expense type equals to overseas expense? So this is a multiple condition expense, multiple condition, where I am combining multiple parameters, multiple checks together. There can be and or conditions. It can be up to your logic. Then there is nested condition. So what is nested is that when you have a condition at the top, then either you have a yes or no. Inside, once you go yes, you can add one more condition over there saying after, if expense is greater than 500, it goes to yes. If it is greater than 500, then I want to check what kind of expense category it is. I will have another condition over there. If expense category is equal to overseas expense, then do this, else do this. So that kind of is a nested condition inside a condition. Switch control is another condition, but here we will have multiple branches. So for example, if I say the parameter for that one variable can be expense category. So if I say a switch of expense category, there can be multiple branches of it. Expense category, one branch can be if it is overseas, another branch can be if it is food expense, another branch it can be a travel expense or project expense. So all these are different branches inside the switch that I have created, so that based on whatever value comes in that particular expense category, it takes that particular route out of all these switch. It's very self-explanatory. We will go and do a demo. Parallel branches. So here means that we want to execute different operation at the same time. Right now we are going to do a condition, and based on the condition logic, we either go yes or we go false. But what if we want to say, I want to do this condition plus I also want to do certain things simultaneously? So that cases are parallel branch. You run parallelly multiple things together. So that also we will look into this video. So let's quickly dive in, and first let us see how do we create a SharePoint site and how do we create a list. Then we will connect all these things together. So click on this left hand side, this 6 dots, and then you will see there is a SharePoint item. So if you have SharePoint application part of your M365 package, then you will see this particular icon over here. Click on this. So now you will see this is the SharePoint interface, SharePoint home page. Here you will be creating your first SharePoint site. So to create a SharePoint site, click on create site, and there are two different sites that you can create. One is team site and one is communication site. You can use any of the sites for this demo, it doesn't matter. So let us start with creating a communication site, and then you will just choose standard communication, and then we will use this template. We will give the site a name. We will say test site, and if you see, this is creating the URL as well, test site, and then I will click next, English. So everything just select, and then that's it, it will create a site for you. So if you already have a site, you can use your existing site. So it is just, I'm just trying to show you how do you go and create a site. But if you already have a site, then come to that site, and once you see if you are having access to this site, then you will see this gear icon on the top. So if I show you, this is the gear icon on the top that you will see. Click on the gear icon and click on site content. So when you click on site content, you will see that you will come to this particular page, and here this is a site content area, and you will see a new button. Here I will create a new list, and as I mentioned, list is kind of an Excel file. So you can create a list from scratch, you can import it from an Excel file or a CSV file or even an existing list. In our case, I will use an Excel file, so I already have an Excel file with me. So I will import this Excel file from here. So I will click on import Excel file, and I will click on upload the file. I have this file over here in my download folder. I will just say open this Excel file. Now it is opening this Excel file. Now if you see it is asking me to customize this Excel file content. Why it is saying is that because when you import it from an Excel file, the Excel file should be in a table format. The content that you want to import should be in a table format. My content, I think, is not in a table format. So it says that you don't have any tables in this file. So that's why we are unable to import it. So what is asking me is open this Excel file document. Let me open this Excel file document. And the next thing that it is asking me is select the cells to include. So imagine these are the cells that I want to include. So it is asking me to select them, and then it is asking me to format as table. So I will just choose format as table and choose any format and select my table as header, and then I will say okay. So now this one is in the table format now. So I will say Control S, save it over here, and then I will go back to my list. I will refresh this. So once I refresh this, so now once I refresh this, see, it is automatically populating the data from the Excel file, and I can name this, the name of the table is table 1, which is automatically the name of the table that we created. We created the Excel table at that time, it was table 1, so it is creating that. So here you can see if the data type of your data is in the format that you intend to. So employee name is right now as a title, which you can let it be. This one, employee email, is a single line of text, fine. Manager name is also single line of text, single line of text. Email is also single line of text, and I can expense category, I can choose it as a choice field. Amount is a number field, and then the description again is a single line of text, and this one, which is the status, I want to use as a choice field. Then I will click on next. I will name the file as expense claim demo. It is automatically picking a name for me. I will click on create. Now it is creating the list for me automatically. I don't have to create it manually. And if you see right now, the list has been created with all the data inside. Okay, so this is a very fast and effective way to push your data. I will put this Excel file in the description box, so you can download this Excel file for this demo, and then you can use it. So now we will head back to make.powerautomate, and we will start our flow creation. We have already created a SharePoint list, which is an expense claims, and what the intent is that whenever a new expense is submitted, we need to take certain action. So first, go to make.powerautomate, click on create, click an automated cloud flow. We are going to trigger this when an item is created, and we will call this flow as condition flow. Okay, and then we'll click on create. So when we click on create, so this flow will be created when an item is created. So we have to select certain parameters. So the site address is, in this case the site address is test site, which is this URL on the top. We don't need to take the list name, just the test site. So sometimes it will automatically come up to you. So if it is coming up like in this case, we are seeing that the test site is coming up. I can just very well select the test site, and it will show you all the different lists that are there inside this particular site. We created one list which is called as expense claim demo, and that's why you see this over here. Next is the actual thing that we are going to do here. So what our intent is, when an expense is submitted, then what should happen? So the condition that we are seeing is, we want to see we want to put a control. So there is a built-in control. We go into this control and we choose a condition. Either you go this way, or you can let me cancel, or you can click on this plus icon and you can just say condition. So if you see condition, you see the control is there. You click on the condition, and here this is the condition we are talking about. So what we want to do is, when the expense, which is this amount, is greater than 500, want to send an email to the manager, and if it is less than 500, I want to just approve it basically, or straight away I want to change the status to closed or completed. So that is what we want to do. So now I go back to this flow, I go into the condition, and when you choose a value, because this value is dynamic and based on the item that has been submitted, I have to choose this dynamic selection, which I have shown you how to do that in your previous video. So click on this dynamic selection, and then you will see this items that are coming from the previous selection when an item is created. So our previous item was when an item is created, and you will see all these properties of that. It doesn't shows everything. You click on see more, and here I want to select the value amount. So now this amount is selected, and I am saying when it is greater than 500. So if it is greater than 500, I want to send an email. So for sending an email, you can just type email, and you can choose send an email v2 option. So I select this option, and to whom I have to send, I am going to send it to the manager. So now this is also dynamic content based on the previous value. So click on this gear icon, and I will try to use the dynamic content. So when I use the dynamic content, I will get this and this option, and over here I can choose again the value. So here I will choose the manager's email. So this is a dynamic value, and then I will type a subject. I can say new expense submitted, and I can type hi. I can just put the manager name. Again, this is a dynamic value. I can just choose hi manager name, and then I can write a message, expense of value. What is the value of the expense? I can choose, if it is not here, just click on see more, amount, which is expense of value. This has been submitted by, I will just choose the name of the person. So here the name of the person is coming from title, and that's why I've chosen title, and then please approve. So here we will not talk about approval, that we will discuss in later how do we do the actual approval thing, but for now we just say please approve with regards, and this is the submitter's name. So I can just say okay, I can just say again the title as the submitter, and that's it. So this is the email that will go if it is greater than 500. If it is less than 500, what will happen? I want to just mark that item in the list. This is a list from status I want to say pending to approve. So I would go to this updating SharePoint list. There is again a connector called update SharePoint list. So I will just say update an item, which is the SharePoint item that we are discussing. Click on this. Again, you have to choose the item, the list site name. Then I choose the site name. I have to choose the list name. So here it is expense claim demo. That is the list name. Then I have to choose the ID. So again, this is a dynamic value because we are talking about the ID that we are working on. Click on this icon, dynamic icon, and then click on this ID. So this will auto select the ID. Now what is the parameter that we are going to change? We are going to change the status value. I will select this option. Automatically this option will come up as a drop down. I will choose as approved. This is the value that I want to change it to. So that is something that I will change, and that's it. So now let us save this flow, and then now once it is saved, we will test this flow. We will test it manually. Click on the test button, and if you see, I have to go back to the site, add a new expense. I will say Hemant, employee email is, I can just write anything that is not used over here. Manager name is Vivek, for example, and email, I can just copy the email that I want to send to. So I want to send it to, for example, this email. So maybe this is the email. So I will just put manager email, and this expense category doesn't matter, choose any expense. But here, because I want to make it more than 500 so that the email goes out, so it goes into the yes branching, I will say yes. Description is test, doesn't matter over here as well, but I will say status as pending, and I will say save. So now this item has been saved. Now if you see right now, this workflow is under processing. There's one more way you can see what is the status of the workflow. You can go back, and once you are on the flow, you will see, you can click on this refresh button to see if your flow has run. You can click on it. Takes some time for your flow to run, maybe 1 minute or so. So now it has run successfully. You will see this message. Click on this start link that takes you to the flow. So when an item is created, that ran successfully. Condition is this condition of if is greater than 500 was true condition. So this condition was true. Expand this, and you see that this email was true, hence an email has been sent. Now I will go my email box, and you see that it is a new expense has been submitted, and it says hi Vivek. So these all values are dynamically updated. Hi Vivek, the expense of value 600 has been submitted by Hemant, please approve. So with regards Hemant. So this is how this workflow ran. So currently our condition is a single condition in the AND, where we are choosing if the particular item is greater than 500, which is expense is amount is greater than 500, then we are doing the true and false branching. But now what I want to do is I want to check whether the travel expense category is there, then only I want to check for the value or the amount. So my condition logic is now a little complex. I would join two different conditions. So one earlier was amount. Now I want to have expense category as well. So I want to ensure that my expense category is equal to travel. So if my expense category is travel and the value is 500, then only I will go and run this condition. So this is called multiple conditions. I can have even further conditions. So how do we go about adding more conditions? So imagine I can go ahead and select these two, and I can then make them as a group. So either this condition where this amount is greater than 500 and the expense category is equal to travel, or we can say that, let me choose again the amount value as equals to 1000 and expense category this amount is greater than 1000 and expense category is equal to and the other expense category I want to choose is meals. Fine, so I will just combine these two as well, make a group. So either of these conditions is true, then I will say that you have to go for sending an email, because that requires some more consideration, else I can send it to false. So this can depends upon how you want to set up your logic. You can have your condition set up in a similar way. So this is multiple conditions can be set. You can also have nested conditions. So imagine right now, if this condition is not met, we come to false and we update the item, we straight away update that item. But I don't want to do that. I want to add one more condition over here. So I can just say add one more condition, and I can update the item after that. But here I want to say, if this condition is not met, I want to further check that. I go to this, I want to further check if expense category value is equals to, so I want to say others. So if our expense category is others, then I want to go over here and say, I want to just say data operation. I will just show a print a message on this, print a message saying that others category and limit has not reached. So this one is called as a nested condition, where you have one condition inside another condition. So the next thing that I wanted to show you is the switch and case thing. So the switch and case is basically used to basically have multiple branching. So now if, for example, come to this point, click on this, click on the control, and this is a switch part, and now I can create multiple branching based on this parameter. It comes into switch based on the category. I can create different cases over here. So this is one case, and create n number of cases. So this way, if I show you, if I squeeze this below, so this is case 1. I can say based on this expense category, the expense category can be of type others, office supplies. Okay, so there can be multiple. So if I say this is others, then I can just name it as case others. So anything that related to others will come up over here. Then this one can be your travel, and this case is called as travel. Okay, then this is third case, which I can call it as case meals, and I will just name it as meals. So there are different cases. Based on what you selected, it will come to the respective case. So for now I will just add some data operation. I will say compose, I would say here it is calling as others called. Then here I would say again data operation compose, I would say travel called, something like that. So I could say compose travel. So you have to name it correctly also, so that later you can understand what this task is being done or what is the logic behind the scene. So that's why I always name it correctly, and that is a good habit that you should also follow. I will just call it as others over here, and then that's fine. So I am just trying to show you a quick answer so that the video doesn't go very long. So I will save this over here, and then let us see what happens. So I am going to test this out again, and to test it out, let's go back on this one. I will create new item. Doesn't matter what I am writing over here. Okay, this one doesn't matter. Manager's name, okay, let me have it as Hemant. Manager email, let me have this correct email. Category, I would say this time I would put it as travel, and the amount is, I guess, 5,000. And then description is, let me put as a description, and then status is pending, and then I will just save it. So I have created this item. Now let me go back to my flow. Let us see when it runs. So now the workflow has run successfully. It takes some time, so be patient. So now the flow has run. So now based on the switch condition, whatever my switch response, so you will see the switch response was travel. So we inserted travel. So now based on others, it would have not gone over here. It should have gone on this level. So which is, it has come to this particular part. It has not gone into others. It has not gone into meals, and doesn't have any item also over here. So this is the place it has gone. So that is the switch. So the last thing that is now left is called parallel branching, where I wanted to show you can run multiple things together. Right click on this plus icon and click on add a parallel branch. When you click on add a parallel branch, choose the action that you want to send. So maybe you want to send emails regardless of whatever be the case. So what I can do is I can just go to email and I can send an email v2. So now if you see, this is parallel branch. So it will go, when the control flow comes, it will go to the switch, it will do all the operation and it will follow through this whole route, plus it will also send an email. So regardless of whatever falls through, whatever happens over here, it will definitely send an email. So that is the case of parallel branching, where if you want to run multiple things parallelly, then you can use this parallel branching as well. I think this one is pretty straightforward, nothing much, but I would just to show you, I will just put this email, hard code this email this time around, and I will say test, I am running anyway. So whatever I choose, this condition will run. So that is what I want to save it, and I will test this out. So test this out, I will do an automatic test with a earlier trigger. So I will just run this. So the same data values that I selected earlier will be selected. So now if you see, this switch has gone, it has gone to this route to select the switch and did all the condition and everything, but parallelly it has also sent an email. So now if you see over here, this is the email that has run, which is I am running anyway. So that is what parallel branching is all about. Thanks for watching this video, and do remember to hit the like and subscribe button our channel Help Me Coder. This will keep us motivated so that we can come up with better and improve content in future. Also, if you have any questions regarding this topic or about this series, do keep us posted in the comment section below, and I will definitely try to get back.